If you hadn't had enough already, I'm about to give you another one. In one of my recent videos where I analyzed Orange and Deutsche Telekom stock, I said at the end of the video that I was going to invest in them through a trading 212 pie and that I was going to share updates on this pie regularly and add new companies. But you didn't know that, did you? Because you didn't stick around till the end of the video. Shame on you. It's okay though, no hard feelings. I know it was a long video, but still. Anyways, in this video, I'm going to explain to you how my trading 212 pie is a bit different from other pies that you will have seen, what was the criteria I've laid out to select my investments, and how we're going to follow up this portfolio going forward. So let's get into the video. What's up guys, I'm Johnny and welcome to Millennials with Money. I upload videos every Wednesday and every Sunday to help you take control of your money today to create a bright financial future for tomorrow. If you like this video, then please help out the channel by clicking the like button, subscribing and turning on the notifications, and tell another millennial that this channel is where it is at. Before I get into the pie, for those of you that haven't used Trading 212, it is a commission-free investing and trading platform where you can invest without commissions on a range of US and European stocks and funds. If you want to sign up to the platform and get a free share with up to £100 or €100, then check out the link in the video description. Deposit €1 or £1 on the platform and you and I will both receive that free share. Do it! Do it, it's free money. Okay, now let's get into the actual concept of the pie. So pies are a new feature in Trading 212 where you can almost set up a portfolio within your overall trading portfolio. And the idea is that you select your investments that you want to go into this pie and you can then automate your contributions, whether you want to contribute an amount on a monthly basis, a weekly basis, even a daily basis. The idea is that you decide on an allocation across your investments, you set up when you want to pay the money in on a recurring basis, and Trading 212 does the rest and invests it across those companies for you. And in addition, if you want to reinvest any dividends that you receive, there's the option to do that as well. So a lot of the pies that I have seen on YouTube and on Instagram mainly cover UK and US stocks, which makes sense, you know, both great markets, good returns to be had in those markets. However, I personally have a lot of experience with stocks in other EU markets that don't typically get a lot of English language coverage. And so I've decided that with this pie, I'm going to bring some visibility to some of these good companies that exist in countries like France, Spain, the Netherlands, and show you that they can perform as well, hopefully better than some of the UK or US stocks. We'll see, but that is the goal and we'll see how these companies perform. Nevertheless, I've been very demanding and very strict with my criteria. These companies, I expect at least around a 4% annual dividend yield. I expect no interruptions in the dividend based on the past history. And I expect these companies to have very robust financials, that's to say growing revenue, constant profit, nice margins, stable cash flow situation, and not too much reliance on debt to finance the business. With regards to my portfolio allocation, I've done this based on some of the principles that I outlined in a video that I did on diversification. If you've not seen that and you want to check that out, I will leave that up here. But essentially, I've picked stocks across various countries in Europe and I've picked them across various sectors. So this portfolio includes some growth stocks, some seasonal stocks, and some defensive stocks. And just so you know, the pie you're about to see is not my entire investment portfolio, it is just a small portion of it. But nevertheless, I've taken this as seriously as my other investments, as this is my own money that I'm putting in to demonstrate this. So I will nevertheless expect good returns from all the companies that I've invested in. So let's look at the companies that I have picked in the pie to get us started. Now, obviously, the first two companies that I've put in are Orange and Deutsche Telekom, which are two telecom operators that have operations both in Europe, in Africa, and in America. Orange is very much focused on kind of using artificial intelligence to drive their growth strategy, and they're looking for kind of network equity in Africa, that's to say have similar and same high quality telecom infrastructure standards that they have in Europe so that they can get ahead in those markets. And Deutsche Telekom is very much focused on its IoT business, that's the Internet of Things, and it's all about everyday connectivity. Now, I talk about these companies in a lot of detail and about the process used to pick them out in this video right here, which is about how to analyze and pick individual companies to invest in. And the process that you'll see in this video is also the process that I've used for the other companies in the pie. But for these companies, I will give just a quick summary and kind of highlight the key points about them. So the next stock that I'm going to talk about is a Dutch company, and it is the holding group of a lot of supermarkets, both in the Netherlands, in the US, and across Europe. And this company is Ahold Delhaize. I think I pronounced that right. Please correct me if there's any Dutch viewers and I got this wrong. Ahold Delhaize essentially owns a lot of supermarket brands. In the US, they own Stop and Shop, amongst many other brands. And the US brands are the brands that contribute the biggest amount of revenue to the group. Here in Europe, if there's any Belgian or Dutch viewers, then I'm sure you'll have heard of Albert Heijn and Delhaize supermarkets. These are the two supermarket brands that they run in Europe, and Belgium and the Netherlands are the second and third largest markets for Ahold Delhaize group. Their general operating model as a supermarket is based on reducing waste, ensuring that anybody, whether you're rich or poor, can come to the supermarket. And recently they've very much been focused on improving the digital experience of the shop. At Amsterdam Schiphol Airport in 2019, there was an experiment with an Albert Heijn store that was completely digital and is all about kind of self-service shopping. And I think self-service supermarkets are going to become more and more popular going forward, and obviously kind of the digitalization of everything these days is a big trend. So it's really interesting to see that a lot of these brands within the group are getting on that very early and taking advantage of it. Next company that I've decided to invest in, as seen on the TV adverts, Danone. The next company is French food and beverage producer Danone. Many of you will know them for their Activia yogurts, their Actimel yogurt drinks. But they also produce a lot of specialist nutrition products such as Cow and Gate baby powder for baby milk, and also they produce a lot of water bottles, so a lot of the water brands that you'll see in your countries such as Volvic, Evian, Fonbella here in Spain, very popular brands and all within the Danone group. And they're not just present in Europe, they're very much global in their operations. They operate in Turkey, they operate also in Latin America, amongst several other markets. What really impressed me about Danone was reading the most recent results announcement, was that the company has seen a very minimal impact from that which must not be named, which shows there's a clear demand for their products, that the Danone brands are very strong. And also I'd say that plant-based diets are becoming a lot more publicized, so are becoming a lot more popular, and obviously people are starting to be more conscious about what they eat and wanting to eat good quality products, which is what Danone essentially produces within its portfolio. Next we have National Express. Now National Express is a coach and bus operator. They operate in three main markets. So the US, operating a lot of school bus contracts, that is the biggest market for them. They also run public transport and coach services in the UK under the National Express brand, and in Spain under the Alsa brand. Obviously, due to that which must not be named, they took a significant hit to their revenues due to the decrease in passenger numbers and restrictions that were keeping people at home. However, something I did really like about the company was that they're investing in kind of carbon neutral and low emissions vehicles. So that's obviously going to be something that's very important going forward, seeing how the world is moving towards cleaner energy and reducing emissions. I think when it comes to school buses, then kids are still going to need to go to school. I don't think school buses will stop. And given that travel may become more complicated after Brexit, then it may encourage more local and national tourism within the UK, which could see an increase in coach passengers. And again, if the economy is hard hit and people still need to get around the country, then it could see train operators losing passengers to the coaches. And being here in Spain, I've seen how the Alsa network operates. It's present across the whole country. It's very important for getting people from one part of regions of Spain to another. It's a very integral part of the public transport sector in a lot of Spain, so I don't see passenger numbers going down in Spain. Next in the pie we have Bouygues. Now Bouygues is a holding group that has three main business operations. The largest of these businesses is their construction business. They have major construction projects going on across Europe and in Latin America. Obviously, the company took quite a hit from that which must not be named, but construction projects will still need to be done. And as I was reading the report, I noticed that it is essentially a backlog of work that is being created. It's not so much a cancellation. So although they will have had revenues forecasted for this year that will not be recognized, I think it's just a case that they will be recognized at a later date. The second business that the group operates is a mobile network in France, Bouygues Telekom. And I think that will be a stable revenue generating business long term. So although it's maybe not at the scale or the quality of Orange, then it is still a good operator in France. Finally, they also are the owner of French TV channel TF1, which is essentially Channel 1 in France. Now this, like a lot of TV channels, has taken a hit from that which must not be named, as a lot of shows have had recordings suspended and postponed, and a lot of advertisers on the network, from where a lot of revenue comes from, have suspended or withdrawn their ad campaigns. However, again, long term, I think this will pick up. Shows will resume recording and will be shown, and I think as these shows begin to come out and advertisers begin to start advertising again, then revenues will come back in for this TV channel. Now moving on to the energy sector, and I'm going to talk to you about Red Eléctrica de España. Now if anyone is watching from the UK and knows what National Grid does, then Red Eléctrica is essentially a similar business here in Spain. It is the electricity distributor of the country. So all of the energy companies here, so Iberdrola, Endesa, will run their energy through Red Eléctrica's network, and that will be how it reaches homes and businesses in the country. A key factor in the stronghold of this company is that it is currently in a monopoly market. That means that it is the sole distributor of energy in Spain, and it has the protection and backing of the Spanish government. So that means that we've seen revenues increase over the long term, and the company also pays out a very nice dividend as well. Sticking in the energy sector, a company I've talked about a lot on this channel, Total, the French oil and gas giant. So it's one of the biggest of its type in the world. But not only does it operate on oil and gas, it is beginning the move to renewable energy, so it has some long-term chances of survival. Of its energy distribution, the company has forecasted a 30% decline in demand for oil in this decade alone. So obviously, with changing government regulations and trends around renewable energy, then they're moving over towards that, and that will allow them to stay in the game for the long term. And amongst European stocks, Total is frequently commended for its dividend, which has not decreased in many years, which it pays on a quarterly basis. Even during that which must not be named, it has continued to pay that consistent dividend and has not cut it at all. Next in the pie is AXA. Now AXA is primarily an insurance business, but also does some savings and retirement planning, and also wealth management. Its largest market is in, guess which country? France, but is also present across other countries in Europe, such as the UK, such as in Spain. It's also present in Latin America, where there is a lot of potential for business going forward. But I read as well that AXA is making some changes in its strategy so that its performance is less linked to the performance of the economy and of the financial markets, and so that it can perform independently from that. I think that's based on their policies regarding insurance. And like many of the companies in this pie, AXA also pays a nice dividend, so that's another good point there. Two more companies to cover. So second to last, we have Sage, which is a financial software and cloud-based technology company based actually in my hometown of Newcastle. The niche in Sage's business is that their accounting software and their cloud solutions business is focused on small to medium-sized businesses. And I've used Sage accounting software before, and it is pretty basic and pretty simple, but in all honesty, that's probably what a lot of small and medium-sized companies are looking for. So I think a trend going forward is that a lot more small and medium-sized companies will emerge as entrepreneurship is less discouraged as it was in the past, and it may even be a driver to economic recovery going forward. I think there's a great opportunity for Sage here to take advantage of that and capitalize, as all of these businesses will need bookkeeping and cloud solutions for their service. Finally on the list we have Thales. Now Thales is a huge French company which is present in aerospace, space, defense, and now digital identification and technology, thanks to their acquisition of Dutch company Gemalto. Obviously a lot of these sectors are very essential to the economy, and especially in the digital identification and technology sector, these will be key sectors and growing sectors going forward in the economy. And Thales has been able to secure some pretty big contracts, for example with the French Ministry of Defense, and also in their ground transportation business on the Docklands Light Railway in London, providing signalling services. So there you have it, there's the pie. That's the companies that I've chose to invest in. Obviously over time we'll track and monitor them. Maybe there'll be some new additions, maybe some of these companies will leave the pie, will be sold off. So here's how we're going to track it. So I'm going to give you regular updates every month on how the pie is performing. I'm going to invest 10 euros every week into the pie based on the allocation that you'll have seen throughout the video. My goal is to achieve a 4% annual return, and that's based on, of course, the dividend yield that I mentioned to you at the start of the video. I would hope that I would make a little bit more gains with that based on the capital gains potential that I have. But because that's not the reason that I'm investing, I'm going to base my expected rate of return on investment around the dividend yields of these companies. And I'm going to keep bringing you updates on the pie as long as there are companies in it, as long as YouTube is still around, as long as Trading 212 is still around. So yeah, make sure you're subscribed, and every month you'll get an update on how the pie is performing. That's all from today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again here soon. Be sure to check out the Millennials with Money social media and internet pages. I'll see you on the next one, and let's get this money.